And we are back to go through World 1. So, we have the trusty halberd. Some other things you can switch, hit left on the D-pad. You can switch from, empty slot to shield. Or halberd to the healing talisman, which then you can use the healing spell. Not really going to be a big deal. And you can always change things like that in the items. So this is the second. This is the offhand, so there's equipment here, nothing here. I can just put the Talisman of God there. It's going to actually be a little more convenient to have the Talisman of God in the offhand. Yeah. Let's see some other quick things. So this is the inventory. So this is the next shield binding. You basically sacrifice all your souls and move on to the next. You just basically go right back to here. And then some of the souls we have. Once I get through the first world, I'm probably just going to eat all these souls and then move, be done with those. These are going to be useful for upgrading items. Eventually getting, when I'm going to start upgrading things and getting better stuff to go. So that's going to be important. Excuse me. And then weapons. No, I don't have any ranged weapons. I don't really need any of this. I'm probably just going to deposit that real quick and be done with it. So let me go ahead and do that, actually.
I would be
let's see, deposits. As I mentioned earlier in the first video, armor is kind of a
safe and sound with me.
Crutch.
Best of luck.
It's not really going to do much for you. So let's go ahead and move on to World 1. So the loading screen draw is going to show like special named characters you're going to see throughout the game. In various ways. You can interact with most of them in different ways that either end up killing them or doing a little side quest for them, depending on what you do. So here is the introduction to the first area. Area that the Drake just flew over. It looked kind of like an executioner grounds. This is going to be an area we'll go to at a later date. That is a lot of bodies in that Drake's mouth. That is wow. Hungry. Yeah, so there's going to be a few secret areas to get through. First, we have to do certain things and meet for certain requirements. So that's actually where this comes into play. You have world tendency and character tendency. So right now, everything has a pretty much pure white world tendency. What that means is the enemies are going to be easier to kill, and you're just going to have an easier time getting through everything. And then once you do certain things, killing demons, collecting their souls, you're going to end up with higher tendency. So if you die in a world while being alive, your tendency is actually going to go down, and it's going to go to, first it's going to just be, you go from pure white to gray to black to pure black world tendency, and pure black world tendency is where you have to be careful. That's when enemies are going to start spawning special red phantom versions. So they're actually going to be a lot harder to defeat. They're going to deal a significant amount of damage. Every enemy's pretty much going to deal more damage. And if I remember right, the lower your tendency, the lower the health you have when you are a spirit. So that's also another detriment. Something to also keep in mind while PvPing. If you go ahead and PvP and kill other players, that actually affects your world tendency or your character tendency. Which a whole nother thing. Depending on your tendency will depend on what kind of events you actually end up getting to go through. Going down there's certain events that will happen, and it's all going to be determined by your world tendency and your character tendency. So there's ways to modify them. You go help other players kill demons. You just kill yourself and make yourself human, kill yourself, make yourself human, kill yourself. Different things like that. Down there is a gecko. The other games have various versions of them, but you just kill them for rare stones. So you can always keep an eye out on them. But let's see. So this is Bullet's area. This is the first area. Just going up some stairs. It's pretty easy for the first part. You're going to see a lot of very basic enemies. You're not going to fight any human enemies right away, who are going to be a lot harder to beat. These guys are just the dregs. They have very erratic swings. They'll do just a basic swing, or they'll just do a very large series of swings. It just depends on what happens. You also always want to look at these, so don't forget, don't go forward without a flame weapon. That's incredibly appropriate. people asking to get their message recommended because they get things for it, so it's nice. Okay, and then we're just going to keep moving on. Here is... So, I do want to mention, the first time I played this game, I hated it. I did not like it at all. Can I do it? Oh, it worked. That's beautiful. It was frustrating. The enemies were difficult to defeat for me, and I wasn't really into it. A friend had purchased it and heard it was like an awesome game, really difficult. And so I decided to play through, see what it's like, and yeah, I hated it. I was like, I'm never going to play this again. I ended up buying a PS3 and then ended up playing it, though, so I got really, really into it, into a kind of obsessive way. Beware of the enemy's ambush. Also, you can, look at blood stains and see how people died and things like that. Nice little wall glitch, just hit them right through it. But yeah, very much dislike the game, and pretty much the first place I died in this game is that pit. You can fall into it and die, so you gotta be careful. Let's see, gone. So there was that note earlier that kind of mentioned how you want fire weapons, and incredibly important to have some fire weapons, and you'll see why once I get to the demon boss. Alright, so here are some soldiers. They're smarter than the dregs. They're gonna be using shields and swords a lot more efficiently. They're gonna be watching themselves. They're gonna also be using fire bombs, which is something to be aware of because that's going to deal a lot of damage. Okay, so we're gonna go up these stairs. Gonna go defeat some enemies. So this is the first. Oh crap! Oh. I love the game, but sometimes the camera angles get so garbage. Okay, so when you're doing the stair parts, you're gonna have a lot of enemies that are gonna end up being above you, so you got to be real careful and not get firebombed. For the most part, you just got to go through this part real quick. Ooh, what are you doing? Nope. Go on. Ooh, that's a good backstab. There's gonna be an enemy right above there, so this one's a little troublesome. He's already lobbing him. So you have an enemy right in front. Oh crap, that missed. So I'm just gonna pull him back here, as far back as I can without getting firebombed, because I want them to come down to me. If I can do that, then I can make this a lot easier for myself. You also just want to be careful around here. You don't want to roll off the stairs, because that would just be embarrassing. But yeah, so we got them defeated. It's gonna make it a lot easier to just run right through. Easy. No issues there. We're gonna go ahead and get that in a moment, but first we have to activate a trap, and then ooh, that's close. Someone took a hit. This guy right here trying to be sneaky, so you gotta be careful here. There is a guy with some fire bombs right there, so you want to make sure you have enough stamina. That's another thing I'll go over. So as far as the game is concerned, you have stamina, which is the green bar, mana, which is the blue bar, and then the red bar is obviously health. Right now I'm dead, so I have half of the health that I would generally have. And ooh, that guy's way over there. So that's kind of a rundown, but yeah, you just always want to make sure you have stamina. You need stamina for running, for attacks, and once you run out of stamina, you have to wait for it to recharge to do anything. So if we do a bunch of attacks, it chunks the stamina. Different weapons, and then different weapons will use up different amounts of stamina, so you always want to be careful of that and be aware of what your weapons are doing and how much they're taking away from you. Heavier weapons obviously use more stamina. You can do running attacks like that, which are always really useful. Pretty much just because you get a nice little swing on them. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Got some bolts. And yeah, so you just gotta always be careful with your stamina. You're gonna need stamina to roll. You're gonna need stamina to pretty much do everything that's gonna keep you alive. Ooh, that was cool. Nope, not today. Alright, so obviously, you always want health. When you invade, so that's where PvP gets a little odd, where you have to end up being really, really careful as far as health goes, because when you're dead, you only have half the health you would normally have. And when you're doing PvP, you have to be dead to invade other players, so you're always going to be at less health than the other players, so you just got to be really careful with it. Yeah, so as always, keep good management of everything, and you generally end up pretty fine. This here, though, this is a Red Eyes Knight. So you have the Blue Eye Knights and the Red Eye Knights. If you play Dark Souls, it's kind of the difference of Silver Knights and Black Knights. The Red Knights, the Red Eye Knights are a lot stronger. They deal a lot more damage. I'd more than likely be able to kill him. You just parry and then, you know, go in for that attack. But I'm not really going to deal with him right now because there's really no point. There's nothing back there that really matters a significant amount. So I'm just going to continue on. We're going to go ahead and beat this Blue Knight. We're just going to do the parry. Ooh, beautiful. Once you get the timing down, I haven't played this in a long time. I'm glad I can still time them properly. But if you're having trouble with it, once you do get the timing down, it's going to be a very easy thing to do. So here is a kind of secret. You see it when you're, you know, running up over there. And then there's a guy right here who you also see when you're coming up. So, oh crap, he's behind me. He's behind me. Fire bombs. Gotta be careful. Yeah, so you know, just run over here, get a crossbow. If you want to use a crossbow, whatever weapons, and just be good. Right. If you can time it, sometimes you can avoid some damage by falling and rolling. The later games have the falling and then do the fall attack, which will help prevent damage. But this one doesn't have falling attack, so you can't really do it. But yeah, so you're gonna find a lot of secrets like that where you just end up, you know, retracing your steps, going back and forth, and it can be a little tedious, but it's not an issue. So before we go this way, though, pretty much each world has shortcuts you can find throughout the game. So you just always want to try and find the shortcuts to really make things a lot easier, especially if you end up, you know, dying. You don't want to lose all your souls, because if you die, you have to go recover your souls, but if you die again, you lose the souls permanently. Oh, do it. No, he didn't do it. This part's so cool. Oh. Whew. Attack the barrels. Yeah, that's so cool. I love it. So they attack the barrels with the fire sword, and they explode, and they die, so it's funny. Fire guys are really dangerous, though. They do they do so much damage. I very nearly got, you know, killed just there because of it. You got to be very careful. Pretty much the best way to deal with them is to pull them in, get them to do the jump attack, and then, you know, let them flail a little bit and then get them with that hit. If you are good enough, you can... Let's see if I can pull this off. Ooh, that was scary. Yeah, be careful. Okay, so I already have them equipped, so we have fire bombs. If you're good enough, you can sometimes... Let's see if we can do this. No, it didn't work. I don't want to waste too many of these. Oh, man, come on. Alright, last one, and then we're done. Ooh, that looks like it. That was a hit. That was a hit. Yes! Ooh, that was beautiful. So, yeah, you can kind of clear out some of the enemies already. There's, you know, good amount of fire weapon guys down there. I took out 2 with that fire bomb. The rest are just going to kind of sit there. They don't attack for some odd reason. You just blasted their friends, and they don't care. Okay. So this is going to be something that's important to break these chains. Important and a little sad. But yeah. Oh, can I do it again? I love doing this. Okay, let's angle it. Angle it. Oh, did I already have fire? Man, no, I didn't. Come on. Yes. Oh, that was beautiful. Alright. So, yeah, you just want to watch out for those fire guys. They're going to be a huge pain. Let's see. So at this point, I think there's only 2 of them left. You want to try and use your camera as best you can. The angles can sometimes get really frustrating, but they're also very easy to use to your benefit. So this is going to be the same situation. You want to try and pull them up, if you can, one at a time, and you want to get them, you want to bait them into their big attack. That dude is running up quick. So you don't really want to... You don't want to attack first, essentially. You want them to do their thing. Oh, my goodness. Ooh. Oh, I don't remember them having a certain distance they can go. Okay, here we go. Come on, jump. There it is. There we go. Thank you. I mean, you can attack first. You can do the aggression and just get them killed if you're fast enough. It's not really difficult. Like, boom. See? You can do it. I just prefer the safe route. I'd rather let them do the attack and then make sure I survive over the opposite. Turpentine is going to be super important. That sets your weapon on fire, so you do fire damage with your attacks. So that's going to be good. And so this is going to be the first shortcut we open up here. So this is going to lead us right to the front area, the big stairs. This is also going to be a very important item we're about to get, the cling ring. So the cling ring actually allows you to have more of your health. So lose less health within soul form, so we're going to equip that. And now I have about 75% of my health or so. It's going to be really very useful. You always want to try and get that first. So let's see, so we loot these bodies, old ragged robes, old spice, which is 4 mana, and then a jade hair ornament, so we're going to go ahead and go over that. One thing to also just keep in mind, that's the body that we just looted for the hair ornament, so that's going to be something just of interest later. But yeah, so went all the way down here, opened a shortcut to the start of the level, so if you do happen to die, you at least have this quicker route back to your souls, which is always just going to be very useful. And then we're going to go all the way back up here. We're going to go ahead and go through that fog gate earlier. So in the earlier games, fog gates generally meant a boss fight. This one, mostly the same thing. Sometimes it also just represents a new area. So we're going to go ahead and go through that for the next video. So yeah, it's been fun, and